Welcome to the West Coast, CEBL Hoops on a Monday night. Langley Event Center, the site of tonight's heavyweight matchup between the Scarborough Shooting Stars and the Vancouver Bandits. Best on best. Hi everybody, welcome inside LEC to Envision Financial Court. I'm Chris Wiggins. The Vancouver Bandits, they held down this home court on Saturday night against the Ottawa Blackjacks with no Jalen House either. But tonight comes their biggest test of the season. Again, best on best, top of the East, top of the West, and who better to come to the rescue than reigning CEBL MVP Mitch Creek. Many thought this day wouldn't happen after his comments following an emotional loss to the Calgary Surge in last year's Western semifinal. But Mitch is back in the CEBL, and as he told me this morning, I said I'd go for one beer with the guys on the weekend, and it turned into 10. I think that sums it up pretty good. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, it's the Scarborough Shooting Stars, who have an MVP candidate of their own in Miles Powell, looking for their fourth straight victory as Mitch goes flying by. Guys, we'll send it over to you. What a matchup we have tonight.
Thanks so much, Chris, and welcome back to Mitch Creek. Clearly familiar around these parts. Cheryl, Andrew Savory on the call alongside my partner in broadcast, Cheryl Jean-Paul. This is not just any heavyweight tilt. This is the 7-1 Scarborough Shooting Stars against the top of the West, Vancouver Bandits. 7-2 versus 7-1. Scarborough coming in for the league's second best offense, Vancouver at number 1, but Scarborough also the league's best rebounding team. They got Miles Powell. They got Frank Mitchell, a six-man of the year candidate. As we look at the stats for tonight, Cheryl, tons stand out, but what does Vancouver need to do and what does Scarborough need to do to come up with a big W? Well,
the three-point shooting is going to be a big one. We know that they can score and they can score in bunches, but Scarborough, it's not necessarily how much they're scoring, it's when it's happening, and that's going to be a big part of their ability to hang with the highest scoring team in the league right now.
And over to Chris for more insight, joined now by Vancouver Bandits head coach GM Kyle Julius.
Coach, down some big bodies tonight, including Tyrese Samuel. How do you, first of all, what is Mitch Creek? How does he free this team up?
He just adds to us. I think we're playing pretty good basketball. We've been growing together, and Mitch is special. He's a special player, special person. He comes in and practices better. The locker room's better. He just enhances everything we're doing. He embodies our culture. We're lucky to have him.
Miles Powell, an MVP candidate of their own down on the other end of the floor. How do you contain him tonight?
Yeah, he's another great guard. He's a great player. He's aggressive, so, we got to match that aggression and execute our game plan on him.
Scarborough's a team that can go on random 19-0 runs. How do you stop a team like that?
You gotta do your thing first. You gotta execute your game plan first. You gotta focus on yourselves, and I think they have to match up with us too. They're a great team, and yeah, we're at home, so we got to be the aggressor, and we got to try and control the pace.
Appreciate the time. Thank you. Good luck tonight. There is head coach of the Vancouver Bandits and GM as well. It's Kyle Julius. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Chris. Kyle asking his team to execute. Scarborough looking to come out with a big road win to finish up this road swing. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Sports YouTube, CBC Gem, and CEBL Plus. Tip-off right around the corner.
Welcome to a new CEBL season. It's been amazing, Canada basketball, for that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian Hoops.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're gonna have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is the trail, this is the real, and all that I gotta say, I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as anticipated.
Sliding away, what a block from behind.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Welcome back inside Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center. The Scarborough Shooting Stars, who have just replaced the Brampton Honey Badgers a couple games ago as the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, have come all the way to Vancouver to face off against the #1 seed in the West, the Vancouver Bandits. We're just moments from tip-off. Cheryl, you picked a few keys to the game for both sides. They're presented tonight by CDIC. First, for the visiting team, the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Titans of the target time. This team, 19-0 run to come back down and win. They've been down a few times in target score ending, so they're not unfamiliar with having to come back from behind, win the battle inside. Charles Bediako, Frank Mitchell, you've got some big bodies, and Dom is going to have to get the job done inside today. Shut down the shooters. You're looking at the best three-point shooting team in the league, and that's obviously going to be a big part to what they have to do defensively to beat this Vancouver Bandits home. They haven't lost at home yet.
This could be the biggest test of the season so far for Vancouver. What are their keys to the game presented by CDIC?
Own the runs. They've had success when they've not allowed their opponent to go bigger runs than 5 to 7 points. It's going to be something that they're going to have, as Coach Julia said, you know, it's about making sure that they're owning the game. Best in the business. Here we go, top in the East versus top in the West. We're going to see who actually has bragging rights after this one. First matchup between these two teams. Moving the ball. This is a team that can shoot 40% from the three-point line. The ball has to move to find the right shooter at the right time.
Rocky versus Apollo, Harry Potter versus Voldemort. I don't know what film franchise you're following, but in CEBL lore, it's Vancouver versus Scarborough. And as we get ready to look at the starting lineups, a few changes that we have to make note of tonight. Of course, Tyrese Samuel off at NBA workouts for the Vancouver Bandits. And as we look at Dominic Parolin stepping in, he gets his first career start, the Coquitlam kid, joined by Michael Mulder as well, Miller Kopp, Jalen House, and Mitch Creek. The reigning CBL MVP makes his debut for the Bandits. And on the other side, it's Javen Johnson, Akoa Uwat, Miles Powell, Charles Bediako, and Amir Sims. A formidable front line, Cheryl, but for the key players to watch, you've selected Miles Powell tonight. Tell us about what Miles brings to Scarborough.
Miles brings that pedigree of not backing down from big moments. That's going to be something that they're going to need. Step back, step back, step back. Not afraid of being the one that has the ball in his hands to end games. You know, 41 points, franchise record in his first game with the Shooting Stars. And so he's come to this league to win, not just games, but to win everything. He wants the MVP. He wants the clutch player of the year. And he wants to help this team win another franchise record for a championship.
A huge performer, wants another trophy in his trophy case. And on the other side, speaking of Mitch Creek, heartbreak the past 2 years, but he's back in Vancouver and he wants to prove himself.
As Coach Julia said, he embodies our culture. Not only does he bring what he does well, everybody else is expected to play and practice and train at a higher level. Reigning MVP, as you said, second all-time in franchise score for the Bandits. And you know what? He's here as a winner, obviously winning in Romania. Now he's here to finish the job that was unfinished from last season.
And we're told Mitch here for a limited number of games before he returns for national team duties with Australia. Set to return afterwards, but for the time being, trying to find his rhythm a little bit, see what they can do for Vancouver. And this is going to be a big game for Mitch as they prepare to go on the road and face Winnipeg after this.
Well, the thing with Mitch is that he doesn't necessarily need to find his own scoring rhythm because he contributes to everybody else's. We saw this last year where younger guys went from not knowing how to play in this league to coming in and doing their roles really well because they found the leader that helped them figure things out. As Coach Julia said, when he's in your locker room, you don't even need the coaches there because he makes sure the guys understand this is the job, this is the business, let's go and let's get it done.
Buckle up, Canada. We have a thriller here at Langley Event Center. Scarborough rocking the white, Vancouver rocking the black with orange trim. Tonight's tip-off presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. And our officials this evening are Wasim Husseini, Jackson James, and Trevor West as well. Patrolling the sidelines, keeping things cordial as best they can. And we have on the tip, first career start, like we said, Dominic Parolin against Charles Bediako. This is going to be a test for Dom. He's proven himself, another double-double against Ottawa, but Charles Bediako, truly not just one of the best bigs in the CEBL, potentially one of the best Canadians as well.
Well, we're excited to see so many players as a part of the qualifiers for the World Cup, and so, we have a few represented in this game that could potentially be wearing their national colors in a few weeks.
Here's House playing with that brace on his ankle as Mulder goes right to the cup, swatted aside by the tower of Bediako.
He doesn't even need to be in the right place at the right time to get those blocks. Obviously, they're shot blocking leader of their team.
Great defense at the cup from Creek, batted around. Parolin corrals. Here's House, suffered an ankle injury against the Mamba in Kelowna, skipped the Ottawa game, and here's Kopp. Can they get him going early? Miller Kopp, did you cop that, folks? Torches it from deep.
That play started with a great defensive rebound from Dom. Definitely something that he's going to have to do well. Bediako is going to do a lot of work inside, but is he going to be able to score inside? And Dom's going to be responsible for that.
Great steal from Kopp. Creek, first bucket. Can't quite get there. Fouled at the rim by Sims. And Creek showing no worse for wear. Like we said, Cheryl, known for living out of a suitcase, this man has played in so many countries worldwide. Hops off a plane into a Vancouver uniform, looking right at home.
One of the things with Jalen House as well, young professional athlete, Mitch Creek is at the right place at the right time almost all the time. And so someone who is already creating so much in this league for this Bandits team, it has to be so exciting for him as a guard to have someone who's always going to find that passing window. He's going to get into the open slots. And now that you have, again, so many great three-point shooters on this team, Jalen House just has to get the ball to the right hands at the right time. So knocks those two down for his first points in the CBL this season. Two of many more. I'm sure the fans are hoping for that.
Indeed, and House still leading the league in assists per game, just shy of 10. Johnson pulls up. Creek the board. Vancouver off to a 5-0 run here to start the first quarter. Kopp and Creek the scorers. Creek. Nice pass inside to Parolin. Lost it at the last second. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touched by Scarborough. Imposing interior force with Charles Bediako lurking around.
One of the things that Mitch Creek does, and sometimes you can see it on film and sometimes you can't, is just how much he gives little instruction to the younger guys in between plays. Dom is going to have to find a way to finish those inside scoring looks. He gets the ball, he kind of pumps fakes, and you're like, in some leagues, maybe the pump fake has worked. Here, you just got to put it down. You got to find a way to explode off that initial pass and get a three-point play instead of getting blocked. He's waiting. Charles Bediako is 7 foot. Whether he jumps up or not, he's going to block your shot if you give him time. So these are the little lessons that some of these young pros have to understand. You don't have time to wait for a better shot sometimes. You have to be ready to take the first look.
As House hits the first, tonight's game, Western Conference tilt featuring Vancouver in an interconference matchup against Scarborough. The Western Conference presented by Cal Tire. As House goes 2 for 2. Sims on Creek. Nice crossover, gets to the cup. Finishes through contact. Nice move, Amir Sims. Great body control at the tin. House using every move in the book. Mulder, ISO. Going right to the rim, swings it out. No one was in the corner. That's an errant pass and a turnover charge to Vancouver.
Sims did a great job last time down the floor. He just saw Creek kind of turn to see if there was something help side. Read it, took it, attacked it, That's exactly what the Shooting Stars are going to have to do, is just find these little windows of opening. Size mismatch is going to be part of this storyline as Powell elevates over House.
There's House. There's going to be moving screen charged against Parolin. Bediako taking the worst of that one. And after a 5-0 start to this one, Scarborough with a couple back-to-back baskets. And like we said in the pregame show, this team does not need a lot of time on the clock to score in a hurry. Powell rocking the 1-3, rises up, bit short, bounces back out to Johnson. Easy little elbow jumper.
And again, just takes what's given. What's interesting with this lineup, obviously only two starters from the previous game for the Bandits as Mulder goes up and again knocks down his first 3-point. That's becoming something that the fans are almost standing up ready for.
Mulder loves to start games hot. The question is, can he always sustain it as Bediako goes right up, that spills out. Kopp rotated a bit late.
Had his hands up, but wasn't quite ready for that. But going back to the Bandits, one of the things that they need to keep understanding with the defensive rotations is that when you have 2 of 5 starters and 3 different starters into this line, Dom is now having to understand the role of a starter, which is the first play. You're not watching someone else experience some of these things and then part of the problem is already solved. You have to go in there and you have to be part of the solution. So it'll be interesting with some of the defensive sequences that they choose to use. Let's remember that with some of their other lineups, especially when Samuels is starting forward, they switch a lot of those ball screens. And so now you have House trying to get through some of these screens. And then again, that's a defensive rotation that Dom is going to have to understand. Like, the guards need to know that you're going to be able to help them get that defensive stop.
That one spills out, and the fans rewarded here early with free sandwiches courtesy of A&W, the tradition here at LEC for 2 missed free throws by a visiting team. And Tynes, one of the best pickpockets in the CEBL, already grabs a steal here after just checking in. Kicked out. Sims bounces around. Mulder grabs it. 1 for 1 from deep so far. Gonna rise up once again. Mulder, bit short. Johnson, inside pass. Bediako takes tons of contact. He's gonna be sent to the hoop as Creek showing that veteran leadership that he's brought the past 2 years, bringing his team in for a huddle, talking to Parolin, a great learning experience. And we'll check in with Chris a little bit later. He was talking to Creek at pregame in this morning's shoot-around, getting a sense of what he's trying to bring to this squad. Creek talking about how it's a much younger group this year. And speaking of new pieces, Jarkel Joyner checking in. Dwayne Notice, the veteran. And this year, you can follow the CEBL on all social platforms at CEB League on all socials. And you can stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Oh for 4 from the stripe for Bediako. So Vancouver rolling the dice with a couple fouls and coming up with the right result.
Well, you know, that's 2 pick and rolls in a row that they haven't managed well, which has led to free throws. And again, the bigger concern is, you know, maybe if it's not Dom picking up those fouls and it's a help side rotation on a perimeter player and it doesn't hurt you as much, but another big body comes onto the floor. Frank Mitchell doing a great job off the bench. If he's not in the conversation for 6th man of the year, I'm not sure who is.
Former Bonnie at St. Bonaventure playing for Adrian Wojnarowski and co. Looking to make those moves. Great footwork. Nice pass to the corner. Miles Powell. Rim's looking like a pool in an ocean right now. He's feeling good. Jarkel Joyner fresh off a franchise record-breaking 37-point performance. And that's going to be 3 straight turnovers for Vancouver. Some sloppy entry passes and kickouts. And for Scarborough, this could be their chance to take the lead here midway through the first.
You mentioned the length of the Shooting Stars, and obviously some of these errant passes are because it's a little bit harder to turn the corner. It's a little bit harder to see some of the passing lanes, and so the Bandits just have to settle in.
Nice recovery from Parolin, meeting Mitchell at the cup. Here's Notice. Joyner. Parolin, 2 big bodies. Notice 0 for 6 from deep on Saturday. Kicked out to Parolin, corner tray. High arcing shot, too strong. Powell inside. Way too much space for Frank Mitchell. Met at the last second by Notice, who couldn't rotate over. Coach Julius wants to chat it over as it's all Shooting Stars right now, up 11-10. And we're going to take a quick break. Shooting Stars making their run up by 1. Don't go anywhere. Tons of CBL hoops right around the corner. You're watching it all on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back inside Langley Event Center to Envision Financial Court. The Vancouver Bandits, the Scarborough Shooting Stars, and Scarborough taking the lead here 11-10. Well, guys, it's been talked about at length. Following a controversial loss in last summer's Western semifinal, Mitch Creek told CEBL reporters he'd never play in the CEBL again. So seeing him tonight in a Vancouver Bandits jersey might come as a surprise to you. I spoke to Mitch this morning at shoot-around, and he said the decision wasn't just about changing his mind. It was about coming back to a place he genuinely loves. He said, it's a place I can come back to and put in some game reps as I prepare for the national team. But let's not get it twisted. The Australian vet says he still stands by the comments he made in last season's playoffs. But he also believes everybody can move on. So this stop in Metro Vancouver on his way back to Australia is an opportunity to stay in game shape, like I mentioned, but also to spend some time with an organization and people that mean a lot to him. Guys, the Stars have aligned for at least a couple of games, and that's a win for the Bandits. And honestly, it's a win for the league, too.
As Jarkel Joyner gets right to the cup. Nice hesitation move, outweighting Frank Mitchell. And speaking of Creek, right out the timeout, a very clear set play for him to go right to the cup. Vancouver playing with fire right now against a talented Shooting Stars group. Johnson bobbled around, whistle. On the arm, says Wasim Husseini. And that's going to go against Jalen House. He's looking for an explanation for House. Going to be interesting to see how he navigates his first game back. Some tough matchups, reaching in late. The correct call there. Rising right up. Spills out. Johnson with the miss. House. Checked by Walker. Pull up. Jalen House. Doesn't fall. Still searching for his first field goal since returning from injury. Nice move up top to Frank Mitchell. Tough catch. Hit the backboard. A little bit too hot. Speaking up, Jarkel Joyner corrals. Notice. Left it short. Rebound goes to House. excuse me, that was Joyner. Bodies all over the place and crashing the glass. Going to be a big part of Vancouver's story tonight. This Scarborough team, the top rebounding team in the nation.
Offensive rebounding is going to be one of those key pieces because sometimes it's not about ability. Great defensive play there. Dwayne Notice, we've seen him do that so many times. Steps in, takes the contact.
And we were talking about Cheryl pregame. Dwayne shot 2 of 9 against Ottawa, but still played 36 minutes, and that's exactly why you can't teach that type of toughness.
Well, if you look at it right now, we're going into 7-8 minutes of this first quarter. Dom is still on the floor, and he's going to have to figure out how to have different guys just rolling at him, and every single one of those interactions is going to be physical. So for Dwayne Notice to step in there and take care of one of those possessions allows everyone to just catch their breath and keep going.
Creek around the back to Notice. Kick back out to Creek, and he finished the highlight. He can! Fresh off a plane from Romania. Hello, Vancouver. Mitch Creek is here.
Well, you know, Australian fans, they just won a World Cup game against Turkey here in Vancouver. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch Creek also had some intentions in terms of potentially watching a soccer game.
Thomas gets right to the cup, throws it up and draws a whistle. Gonna be in the bonus the rest of the way as we wait for Grant Shepard to check in. The Kelowna kid had a huge game, 10 points on a perfect 5 of 5 from the field against the Mamba and a win in his hometown.
That's his second personal for Dom, and again, some of the challenges for him starting is that when he came off the bench for Tyrese Samuel, his job was just to play physical. You know, and coach celebrated physical plays, and if he picks up a foul or two, not the end of the world. And obviously he came off the bench the last game and had a really great scoring look. It's a little bit different in tonight's game where his foul issues are going to play a factor in today's game. 2 fouls in the first 8 minutes. Now what does coach do? We're going to see Grant Shepard going up against some of the bigger bodies and see what he can do, having had his career high in Kelowna a few weeks ago.
Kopp lights it up from deep once again. Vancouver back up by 7 with less than 2 left to go in the first. Kopp, nice rotation there against Powell.
Coach Vernon is not happy with that last defensive series. You know that's a shooter. Get on the shooters. And so, again, each team is really finding the little loose parts every single time they come down the floor. One defensive rotation a little bit late, one pick and roll assignment missed, and the other team is scoring.
Out of the hands of Scarborough, 2-on-1. Notice right to the cup. Met nicely by Powell. And Frank Mitchell is going to be uncontested for a two-handed slam with a little bit of extra mustard on that one. Sending a message to the hometown crowd, he's all business. Joyner pull up, tough fader. And that one couldn't be corralled by Sims, thrown out of bounds. And hey fans, this year Cal Tire, a proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Kopp thought about the heat check. Falling out of bounds, Shepard turned his head. Creeks the last one back. That's on the ground. Powell saw it coming, but the leader, Mitch Creek, gets back, keeps it on the ground. Kopp and Shepard, some miscommunication. Joyner's looking for an explanation from Kyle as well, as Kopp was kept to the corner. Either way, in the bonus.
So we've had warnings on both sides here. The officials letting Coach Julius know that they've been heard, he's been heard, move on. And then obviously on the other side, assistant coaches potentially stepping onto the floor a little bit to complain about that last foul. I think Mitch Creek is just like, that's a professional foul. Welcome to the show. I prevented a foul, so I think that there's some explanations there in terms of whether it was supposed to be, whether it's a intentional foul or a flagrant foul, or finding a different way to figure that one out. But obviously the teams have lined up here, and they're shooting the free throw not because of any other reason than it was a bonus.
As we see Coach Tyrell Vernon still talking to Asim Husseini on the edge of your screen there, folks. And Vernon, last a head coach for the Calgary Surge, fallen to Creek and these same Bandits in the 2024 Championship Weekend Western Conference Finals when Zach Copeland came up with a game-winning 3. So it might be personal for Vernon as Powell goes 2 for 2, but one of the best coaches in the league and already a champion with these same Shooting Stars back when he was an assistant in 2023. Joyner, burst of speed. Mitchell knew what he was up to. You could see that rim protection for Scarborough, exactly why right there. Powell demanding the rock, evades Joyner, pulls up, pretty move. Mitchell, big offensive board. Shepard was there, throws it away. Right to the cup for Walker. For Grant Shepard, some tough minutes, had his head down. A quick turnover inside to Kopp. Throws it up. Soft touch, Miller Kopp. That's what you do when you're in the coach's bad books. A turnover, gets the post up in the mismatch, calmly off glass. Shot clock's off. Call Powell, dial 1-3, what's he got? Powell. And that's going to be charged against Joyner. 2 shots coming right up. Miles Powell catching fire here quickly. Up to 9 points, game high. Chance for 10 and 11 right here. Explosiveness. The former Big East Player of the Year out of Seton Hall. Had a cup of coffee in the NBA with the Philadelphia 76ers. Last played in China in a very talented CBA. And if Canadians or Vancouverites don't know him, one of the best scorers in international basketball, taking the CEBL to another level this summer. And like you said, Cheryl, MVP watch already got a spotlight on Miles.
Well, we're looking at international players that have represented their nations as well. So when we look at Australia, Canada, the US, what a privilege it is for CBL fans to see people on so many different venues. World Cup qualifiers, all these teams fighting for a chance to get to the Olympics. And we're seeing so many of these players in this league.
So Dwayne Notice called the Hail Mary, was thrown down, picks up a foul. A little bit of time, chips off, a chance for a look at the bucket or something else. Shepard right to the rim. Couldn't pick it up with his left hand. That was a nice set play. But regardless, Vancouver holding on to a slim 1-point lead. This is what you would expect from a tale of two heavyweights. It's Bandits up 24-23 against the Scarborough Shooting Stars. We have second quarter action right around the corner. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
Welcome back to beautiful Envision Financial Court here at Langley Event Center. Vancouver holding on to a slim 1-point lead. Scarborough has taken punch for punch on the chin, and they have stayed neck and neck with the best in the West, Cheryl. Miles Powell erupting in the first quarter, leading them back, taking the lead at 1 point, but this game certainly feels like it's going to go the full 4 quarters.
Well, I think if any team is feeling like they need to have an 8 or 9 point cushion to survive this isn't that kind of game. We have a team from the Shooting Stars perspective that can defend the well. Maybe they're not scoring as much, but they've given up 37 points in a quarter and still have found a way to win, so they can tighten up and get better defensively as the game goes along.
Vancouver going to look to clean up those 7 turnovers, leading to 11 Scarborough points. Here's Sims on Creek. Step back, creates some nice space. Cans the Jimmy. Scarborough back up. House back into the game. Step back. Leans in, hits it. Thomas got right in his grill, but Jalen House showing why he's one of the best ISO scorers in the league. Great rotation from Cobb coming over. Tipped ahead to House. Inside to Shepard. Shepard asserting himself on the post against Bediako. House tries to feed him. And for Shepard, has to learn the playbook here quickly. That's a couple missed opportunities.
You know, Miller Cobb, great defensive rotation. There might have been a conversation between Mitch and Jalen. Know your personnel on that one. You know, let Grant get settled into this game. Don't have to go for the home run every single time in transition. Let a great defensive stop become a great score. Great ball movement there by the Shooting Stars, and they don't get the Flames here, but they're starting to heat up now. Going 1 for 6 from the three-point line in the first quarter. Good signs for them to knock down the very first 3 that they've got.
House looking for 3 of his own. Hits it. Thomas canned it on him, and now House responds in kind. Powell shifty. House was there, but Miles Powell. Kyle says he does not like what's happening in these screen and rolls. Powell calls it off and just calls his own number. And Scarborough's up 2, Cheryl.
Well, trading baskets is one thing, but these are momentum killers right now because they're coming from mistakes. They're coming from errors. And so you want to be able to get good scoring looks and, again, not give it back within 3 or 4 seconds.
Scarborough regains the lead. Plenty of second quarter action right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body. You fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
RedTag.ca.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Shooting Stars taking charge here at Envision Financial Court. Miles Powell up to a game-high 12 points. Raining from deep. It may be sunny skies outside, but he's feeling good indoors here at Langley Event Center, and a big reason why the Shooting Stars are being the road warriors that they are. Wins against Niagara, also against the Edmonton Stingers, and now here against the Bandits, looking to pull one off before they return home. House around Tynes, throws it up, takes contact. Few balks the past few possessions. Kellen Tynes checking in, hitting House on the wrist, and Jalen House proven no worse for wear after missing last Saturday's contest.
I have a feeling that Coach Vernon is saying, I told you that was coming.
Just blows right by Tynes. Pride of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And the New Mexico product, and Jalen House converts the and one. And potentially an MVP candidate versus MVP candidate matchup tonight in House versus Powell. Certainly some names you expect to hear around award season. Johnson on Shepard. Shepard closes out. Johnson hits it. Great D from Shepard, but just better offense from Johnson. Notice here with Creek, inside pass. Bediako was there, but Creek goes right around.
Both teams are starting to settle in, kind of understanding what their best scoring looks are. It looks like just slipped on the decal there as he was trying to make that hard corner.
Johnson, the wingspan, showing why he's one of the best wing defenders in this CEBL. Miles Powell, good to see him taking a spill and feeling okay afterwards. Gonna mop that up, a little bit of sweat on the floor. Glad he's okay. Johnson preventing a corner 3 opportunity from Kopp on the previous possession.
Well, you know, it is summertime out here, and we've gone from 22 degrees outside to
hot out
hitting
there.
30 this weekend. And so one of those heat factors is just, you know, the sweat accumulation on the floor. The ref's doing a great job there, just making sure that the floor is swept up in a few different spots, and we're back.
Notice trying to feed Shepard in the pick and roll. Powell to Bediako. Huge size advantage around House. He knows exactly what to do with that with a two-handed flush. Cannot let these shooting stars run. They're super athletic, adept from 3. Notice around the screen. Creek, pump fake, throws it up. Drew the contact. Is closing out with Sims, and Creek with just a fundamental execution to get to the free throw line. This year, New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys now by visiting CEBL.ca. Like we said, Vancouver, this black and orange, a fan favorite the past couple of years since they rebranded. Scarborough coming in with the white fits. Also well worth the purchase if you're shopping at CEBL.ca. As Creek hits the first. Already into double digits here. Averaged north of 20 last season in his second year with the Bandits. Well on pace to get there tonight. Two for 2. Mulder back in for the first time in the second quarter, as is Parolin, holding on to 2 fouls. Creek on the switch. Here's Kopp. Powell, step back. That is just impossible to stop, Cheryl.
If you want to go watch his highlight here, you're going to see that step back, whether it's from the top or the corner, over and over again. So Dom Parolin flips on that, and again, punch for punch, corner 3 meets corner 3. It might come down to who gets the last shot into this game.
Nice look away from Tynes, finds Walker. He's going to take it, responding, and we have a 3-point shootout on a Monday night. I tell you, fans, if you didn't buy a ticket and you're not watching at home, you made the wrong choice, because we have some great offense here on display. Kopp, heat check. Miller, Kopp. He's on fire, folks, from Houston with love. Powell, there's that patented sidestep, and he gets the friendly roll. That ball just died on the back of the rim. Miles Powell.
Doesn't matter how it goes through the mesh, it still counts.
Jalen House looking for the call, but Tynes, 2.5 steals per game heading in tonight, going to pick up his second. The Nova Scotian, one of the league's best perimeter defenders, fresh out of Delaware in the G League. Another great Canadian product making his debut in the CEBL this year. Bediako's going to check out.
John Knight stepping in for the first time today's game. We have Mitch Creek stepping off the floor for the first time as well. So, again, a lot of different kinds of lineups that we've seen here. We'll see what the defensive emphasis is with this lineup with the Bandits.
Mulder searching for his second 3. Front rim, rebound goes to Parolin, can't get the roll. Mitchell was there. A little bit jittery around the cup tonight for Parolin.
Well, it just goes to show you that he's not used to having to do that quick release when he gets the ball.
Mitchell, that's just something you can picture him doing time and time again in college. Quick move, power dribble to his dominant hand. House, pull-up tray. Nails it. Jalen House in a world of his own right now. And responding with the exact same celebration, Miles Powell, the shirt is up. It's mano y mano here at the LEC.
Timeout. Uh-oh. You know, you've got guys, I don't know what.
Look at that. Jalen House says, Miles, I know who you are. I'm ready for this one. I'm top dog around these parts, but I tell you, Miles Powell, 18 points and a flurry of threes. And if you don't have your popcorn, this is the time to go and grab it. Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win this year with new prizes for $100,000 every draw. Get your Lotto Max ticket now. Must be 18 plus to enter.
Andrew, I was going to say at the beginning of the game, and I wish I had, that this might be the highest scoring game of the season.
Already pretty much at 50 points, halfway to go through in the second quarter. Bandits average around 104 a night, Scarborough around 98, and they're well on track to beat both of those marks.
Well, just the shots that they're finding, the shots that they're knocking down, the inside presence, the ability to score in transition. We're seeing a little bit of everything right now. Both teams on display, the offensive showcase. It'll be interesting to see what the defensive adjustments are made at half. How are they going to find the shooters a little bit earlier? The inside presence, and how many times are we going to see the shirts go up?
And Chris was just hanging around the sidelines in the huddles for either squad. What do you got from us, Chris, in this intense matchup?
Yeah, listening in on Scarborough Shooting Stars, head coach Tyrell Vernon talked to his club. He said, Miller Kopp is one of the best shooters in the gym. We can't be helping too deep into the paint. We've got to get out of the paint when we send help. Back to you.
Look at the extra fight from Parolin as Mitchell right there. And Chris, thanks for that one, as Miller Kopp has been on a tear, as has House. Picks up his dribble. 10 to work. Checked by Powell, one-on-one. This is the matchup we've been waiting for. He takes it. Jalen House says, I got you, fam. Powell gonna respond right back with the floater. My goodness, body shot for body shot. These two, it's personal. Kick to Kopp. On the roll, Kopp keeps it. Kopp wide open from deep. He hits another. Rack him up. The message did not get through in that Scarborough huddle as Chris was listening in. They left him unchecked, but Johnson going to take a three of his own, and that is a crucial foul on the closeout for Parolin, preventing the space of Johnson to land cleanly. A dangerous play. We'll see if we can get a look at that one. Hope Johnson's okay. No landing space to come down as Parolin closed out. And for Grant Shepard, these minutes going to be so crucial. It's not how you start quarters, it's how you end quarters. And Vancouver really needs to withstand the Shooting Stars right now.
Yeah, great to see Johnson standing up on his own. You never want to see that. And again, sometimes it is intentional, but in those type of situations, you know that your coach has said, if you get into that switch situation, you have to take away that three-point shot. You know, previous play, Don Parolin doing a great job inside. As a young post, he's going to have to figure out that in this game, against these kind of bigs, every defensive stop is probably 2 or 3 efforts trying to force the tough shot and then, you know, and then get the board and then pursue the basketball. So he had finally gotten a great defensive sequence just to give up that 3-point. You know, we're shooting three three-pointers here, and then now he's sitting for this quarter. So we've gone punch for punch, with the Bandits having to catch up, though, each punch. So at some point, they're going to have to get one of these great scoring looks and then a defensive stop to follow.
Johnson doing his part to put Scarborough ahead, hitting both free throws thus far. Mulder, Kopp, Joyner, House, and Shepard on the court. For Scarborough, Thomas, Walker, Johnson at the line as well. Powell taking a rare breather. That one spills out. A rare miss for Johnson from the free throw line. Youat also out there for Scarborough. Kopp, another three on the catch. Joyner collects. Kopp wants it back. He says he wanted that one. Can't get it. Too strong. Walker, nice move, spinning out of control. Tipped out by Mulder. Johnson all the way from another area code. That was from distance. Scarborough up 4. Jalen Johnson dancing over to Grant Shepard. Extra pass to Jarkel Joyner with the floater. Too strong, fighting for it. Shepard might have wanted to go up with that one. Joyner couldn't finish it off. Up high. Walker, Shooting Stars going on a run. Creek about to check in as Scarborough with its largest lead of the game at 6.
This is the concern for the Bandits. It's not necessarily about what happens on the defensive side of things. It's about the shots that you miss and the results of that from what Scarborough can do in bunches.
Scarborough keeps executing, but a rare turnover in house right to the basket. It was Joyner who was contributing on Saturday when the Bandits needed him, and tonight it has been House each time they needed an answer.
Joyner's doing a great job of trying to get into that soft spot for the little middies. And the offensive rebounding is still one of those concerns about who's going to be able to get those second possessions for the team. So down 4 with 2 minutes left. Mitch Creek expected to check in here, and it just feels like things are slipping a little bit for the Bandits.
Mulder, great decision to drive to the cup. Didn't settle for the 3, but Cheryl, they need stops now. Scores in consecutive possessions for the Shooting Stars.
Mulder, the veteran, coming up with a savvy play. Sometimes it doesn't have to look spectacular. It just has to be effective.
Youat right onto the hoop, got inside position on Kopp.
If you look at the length, the ability to go from scoring inside to defending House right away.
Thomas on House. House looking to pull up on Thomas, just rips it through the arms. A savvy move as Notice and Creek are going to check in with House heading to the line for 2. Down 4, looking to chip away. A crucial 90 seconds of basketball around the corner for Vancouver. Scarborough winning this quarter by 3 thus far as Powell checks back in. Comes in for Thomas. Youat staying out there, and you said it, Cheryl. His defense picking up full court has been extremely impressive for the graduate of SAIT out in Alberta.
Well, we're going to see what type of scoring looks in the next minute and a half. This is the smallest lineup that the Bandits have shown defensively. So this is going to have to be a moment here right now where every defender is going to have to understand their responsibility. So subs here. Sims steps back in for Walker. See a little bit of full court pressure here. Trying to slow them down a little bit earlier. Switches, but sticks with it.
Notice, tasked with guarding Mitchell. There's the kick. Youat from 3. Misses. Big rebound. Notice commits the foul. He's going back up with Sims. And for Scarborough, their single game high for points and a half is 61 back on July 21st, 2023. Chance to pass that now. Vancouver, their record in a half is 68. A little bit still far away from that. 66 seconds left in the first half as Sims hits the first. Sims hits them both. Miller Kopp's taking a breather for Vancouver. 5 threes in the first half. A single game franchise record. The record is 8. He's already at 5. But a well-deserved breather. And here's House. Creek in the corner. 8 to work. Checked by Mitchell. Leaves it for Notice. Fouled on the pass. That's going to send Creek to the line. Trevor West with a call. And for Mitch Creek going up, that looked a little bit more like a shot. Indeed, it's the right call, sending Creek to the line. And Chris was talking to Kyle earlier today. And Chris, you were saying how Kyle's willing to put Creek to guard the 4s and 5s in this league. And Creek has done so here, rotating to Mitchell, posting him up there, and hits the first free throw.
Where the height disadvantage comes into play, though, they've handled the first inside scoring look, the kick, they challenge the 3, but it's that offensive rebound that they're giving up. So that's going to have to be a little bit more willpower. You're going to have to fight for the position before the ball gets there. Otherwise, you are going 7 foot versus 6'5".
Mulder going to pick it up, trying to get the jump ball. Second personal against Mulder. Scarborough chance to go 2 for 1 here. Up by 3 with 43 seconds left in the first half. And for Scarborough, winning this quarter by 5. Shooting 66% from the field. Vancouver also a torrid 48. Scarborough's offense that much better. Johnson pulls up. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Vancouver. We're going to go 2 for 1 as well. Here's House. Gets right to the cup for Jalen House with a couple extra seconds. Needs to get back on D. About 1 second between the game clock, shot clock differential. And it's dial 1-3 extension right now for Miles Powell. Scarborough calling for the clear out. Thomas from deep. Nails it. A defensive lapse. Looking to get up court quickly. Joyner trying to go the distance. Lost it at the last second. And for Vancouver, they doubled on Powell. Ends up in the hands of Thomas. He's been big on the road already this year, showing exactly why. Canning the 3 and keeping Scarborough ahead by 4 points, Cheryl.
This is a lot of offense for both teams. Who can manage this pace going to the second half, but very curious to see how the bigs are being used for the Bandits, because obviously that's been a concern with the foul trouble. So it'll be interesting to see if the strategies change in terms of how they're going to try to defend some of the issues that they've been facing in this half.
And Chris joined now by Miller Kopp, lighting it up with 5 threes in the first half. Our player of the half, over to you, Chris.
Miller, 5 threes for you. What are you seeing what are you seeing out there?
Well, we're just playing with a lot of pace. I think their offense is, predicated on a certain few guys, and we're just trying to get stops and run. And I think for me, I'm just trying to find space, and guys are finding me.
Miles Powell, it feels like him and Jalen House are going shot for shot. He is a tough guard, and Scarborough is notorious for long runs. How do you contain Miles and the rest of their club?
We're just playing 5-man defense, team defense. I think it's not one person's matchup, it's everybody's matchup. And I think for us, it's just locking in on those few guys and guarding them as a unit.
And your thoughts on Mitch Creek, former captain and last year's CEBL MVP? What does he bring to this squad?
Competitor, leader, toughness, and just winner. He wants to win.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Great half. All right, there is Miller Kopp. Guys, I didn't want to say it to him just in case. It's like telling a goalie he's on track for a shutout. You can't do that. 5 threes and 8 is the record here for the Vancouver Bandits as we send it back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Chris. Miller Kopp chasing Zach Copeland. And coming up at the half, we're going to have lots more. A sit-down interview with Shooting Stars guard Miles Powell. Chris is going to interview head coach Tyrell Vernon. And we're going to look at the first half stats and revisit Cheryl's players to watch. Scarborough up 4. Big second half of basketball right around the corner. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Again, he got it. He did it. Oh my goodness, what a finish. Miles Powell.
All right, you're the Iceman for the day. Enjoy.
So this episode is extra Scarborough heavy, so we have to spend some time with a star of the Scarborough Shooting Stars, Miles Powell. And listen, speaking of stars, you are ready either for your CBC debut or the home opener, because my guy has a tight braid up, he has a nice lineup, he has the OVO owl on the chest, he's got the timepiece, not even a watch. I'm wearing a watch. This tells me my heart rate. That's a timepiece that appreciates in value. And probably Prada on the shoes. I don't want to put your business on the front street.
Sir. Looking
clean. So excited to meet you and to see you in the league. You came ready.
Yeah, I was ready. This is not my first rodeo, so I mean, just wanted to represent Scarborough Shooting Stars the right way and represent myself the right way. So
I'm surprised you don't break every huddle screaming Iceman or 666 because you guys are already a crew, and I loved this post-game moment that you had with S.A. Bronny, one of the best sideline reporters and basketball minds in the country, where Iceman had just dropped. It was like a couple hours literally before. And not only you guys are vibing, y'all know the lyrics already. I don't know if you got a little early listen from Nico, but take a look at the vibes that you guys had after a big win.
Time, the collectiveness, how together you guys are. Another 15-point comeback in target score time. What allows you guys to stay together like this?
I mean, we're a family for real. It's a culture. Every day we end our breaks and us, and that's what y'all see. All of my eyes stay dead.
Why they gas me up?
All right, you're the Iceman for the day.
The reporter, he was feeling it too.
Yeah. The vibes. I mean, like, take me into that moment. One of the things, that I miss about being on a sports team, that you can't replicate that anywhere else in life.
Yeah.
You literally just met a lot of those dudes.
Yeah.
Well, take me to the place of you were introducing yourself to you guys literally boogieing post game after a win.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But that's just the culture that Nico has built around the locker room, and like you see in the video. I mean, we don't really care who does it, who making the game-winning shot, who has the most points. As long as we winning and the vibes is good, everyone's happy, as you see in that video. So I mean, Amir had just made it 3. We had came down. I think we actually went on a 19-0 run. That was one of the biggest comebacks in the league history. So, like I said, the vibes were high. We don't care who doing, as long as we coming out on top and we winning. That's the thing about summer basketball. As one of the leaders on the team, I'm just trying to show them that when you win, everybody looks good, from the coach down to the last player that came off the bench. So, I mean, that was our first home game. The kids was involved. The vibes was high. The song had just came out, so, I mean, we was feeling good.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh yeah, like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my job. So you were saying...
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back to the firefight, the Cirque du Soleil show that is Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center. If you like offense, boy, do we have a ton of that for you tonight. Cheryl, Miles Powell with 20, Jalen House with 21, most points scored in a half, courtesy of the Shooting Stars, most points surrendered in a half, courtesy of the Vancouver Bandits. Not what they want to hear, but these highlights are going to end up on SportsCenter.
Well, you look at 42 points for the Shooting Stars in that second quarter. They came to play. Talk about two teams that are at the top of their conferences for a reason, and for the Shooting Stars, their ability to defend to win games has been as critical a part of why they're 7-1. The question is going to be, can the Bandits defend in this second half to maintain that 0 on losses on their home court?
It's a battle of who has more gas in the tank. And when we were looking through some of these halftime stats, the shooting pace for either squad has just been absolutely ridiculous, off the charts. Jalen House, a big reason for that. Vancouver shooting 60%, but Scarborough even better at 65%.
Well, you look at their field goal percentage, you look at the three-point shooting percentage, and these shots are being challenged. It's not like they're just letting the person go past them. Neither team has had more than a 7-point scoring run either. So we know that this is a punch-for-punch rebounding. We're seeing a lot of free throws. But one of the major storylines right now, 25 points from the Shooting Stars from their bench. Frank Mitchell's been a big part of that, but they've had other players step up. And again, the 14, now 16 points off of turnovers. The Bandits are going to have to take care of the basketball. That's going to have to be their inside presence. Defense is not giving the Shooting Stars more possessions than they've earned.
Dominic Parolin in foul trouble with 3 fouls. Grant Shepard trying to pick up the slack. A lot more analysis right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. You're watching halftime here between the Shooting Stars and the Bandits here on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa, thanks.
That's my job.
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh, yeah. Like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
redtag.ca.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. Oh, and it goes. Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win. You gotta love a Canadian boost. Two hands. Me. Oh, what a block from behind.
The CDIC was established by the Government of Canada to protect deposits in case of bank failure. Coverage is free and automatic when you bank with a member institution.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my job. So you were saying?
Protecting your deposits, that's what we do.
Welcome back to Langley Event Center. Halftime about to come to a close, but what a performance from one of our players to watch here tonight so far. Cheryl, both players to watch, but starting with Miles Powell with 20 points.
The things that he can do with the ball in his hands, you know, the ability to step over size mismatches, shooting over the smaller guards, taking advantage of, you know, half-second slow defensive rotations, has not disappointed with 20 points in this first half.
And for Mitch Creek, another big game as well, 12 points.
Well, one of the things that we know the leadership that Mitch Creek brings, they have players that can score. What's going to be interesting in the second half is, can he start being the anchor to what they need to do defensively in this game? Giving up a lot of points in that half 42 points in that second quarter. They're going to have to buckle down and find a way to get some stops.
Going to try to keep Scarborough Shooting Stars off the board. Not easy to do. Chris is joined now by Scarborough Shooting Stars head coach Tyrell Vernon.
Coach, you put up a franchise best 65 points in the first half there. Miles is being Miles, well-rounded scoring, 25 points off the bench. Is this the culture you've created here?
You know what, we're kind of, definitely hitting shots and doing what we got to do on the offensive end. I don't think this is, we're also giving up 61 points in the first half, so I wouldn't say that that's exactly the culture that we want. I think we want to score the amount of points that we're scoring, but, we got to defend a little bit better. I think with both groups right now, the first team to kind of lock in and get some stops here is going to be the one to come out there with a win. So, we just got into the group a little bit at halftime. We have to defend. Make it a little bit tougher, not just one pass layups, and, it's just too easy for them to score right now.
I heard you call Miller Kopp the best shooter in the gym, and your guys were helping too deep into the paint. What adjustments did you make on their shooters?
I think it's us just understanding the KYP of everything, right? There's certain, guys on the scout right now that we would rather be taking that shot rather than Cobb. We got to definitely get him off the line.
And Vancouver giving up a quarter worst, 42 points. You know they're going to make adjustments too defensively. What are you expecting here in the second half from them?
I think we just got to be prepared for the physicality. This is two very good teams going at it right now, and a little bit of a chess match, so hopefully we're on the right side of it.
It's a track meet. Good luck in the second half. Thank you. There is head coach of the Scarborough Shooting Stars, Tyrell Vernon. We'll send it back to you guys.
Love to hear it from Coach. He likes the offensive accolades, but Cheryl, he does not like what it shows about his defense here tonight. Chris called it a track meet. Coach Tyrell called it a chess game. Whichever team locks in first defensively should claim victory here tonight.
Well, normally we talk about scoring runs, but we might want to track defensive stop runs, because the team that can probably get 2 or 3 solid stops in a row might be the team that all of a sudden finds their way into this win. So we talked about teams that can do some things towards the end of the game. We've seen Scarborough throughout the season find ways to win games even when down. It's going to be curious to see what they do with a lead.
And for Vancouver, had the lead in that first quarter, but then in the second, Shooting Stars, they were getting back to the free throw line, attacking the paint. And as we revisit our players to watch, just to look at that head-to-head matchup, Powell with 20, Creek with 12. Creek, he doesn't want to come and impose himself. Like we said, a limited number of games before national team duty. Powell, certainly an alpha on the Shooting Stars group, but House as well has been helping out Creek in a big way.
Well, for Creek, we know that he can score in a lot of different ways, and trying to figure out the matchups that he's trying to exploit. Where they probably need him right now is finding ways to offensive rebound. They have 6 offensive boards. Jarkel Joyner, when he comes onto the floor, is catching, but that's probably one of those things where if we can gain and steal a second possession here and there for Miles Powell, he's getting the job done, knocking down some big shots. But what's great to see is the fact that he's not worried about whether he has the ball in his hands or not, because other people are knocking down shots. So the team that chooses to play team basketball, the defensive rotations have been a little bit off. They've, like Coach Vernon said, we're giving up some layups, and no coach wants to see layups. 65 points feels good, but you want to maintain the good feelings by playing some defense.
And you were talking about it, Vancouver, despite losing that second quarter. The good news, you're only down 4.
Well, you're down 4. What's going to be the biggest challenge now is if the teams are defending their three-point shooters a little bit better, the inside game becomes so much more important. We see Grant Shepard here starting the second half. Don Perlin's slightly sitting because of those 3 fouls that he picked up in the first half. So we're going to see who decides to step up. We've got some former defensive all-stars, college players, people who know how to get the job done defensively. So it's going to be exciting to see who decides to take it on the chin first.
For Vancouver fans, if you're just joining us, Tyrese Samuel not in action tonight at an NBA workout. Starting his first career professional start, Dominic Perlin picked up 3 quick fouls. Grant Shepard tasked with waiting the storm, but it's going to be tricky. 20 minutes of hoops right around the corner. 4-point lead for Scarborough, and off we go here in the second half. House has space. Inside bounce pass to Shepard. That's more like it. Grant, two-handed flush for Vancouver.
Great adjustment on that pick and roll. They typically have been hitting back the three-point shooter on that one. runs out of the corner, dunks it. That's got to feel good for Shepard, knowing, okay, here we go, that's my game.
Took some anger out on that rim. Shooting Stars looking to respond. Bediako in the pick and roll. Johnson looks it off. On Shepard, rises up. That one-legged out. That was pretty from Javen Johnson. A quiet score, but don't be fooled, folks. He averages right around 15. He could do damage. Mulder gets it with space. Is it too much? Spills out as Powell was closing out.
That's the normal first scoring look that we see in the second half for the Bandits. But it's great that House is making the right reads and finding the open score.
One-on-one, Powell on Shepard, guard on post. Powell wants it, he gets the space. High arcing three right over the outstretched arm of Shepard. A 7-point lead for Scarborough. Creek driving on Sims, pass to Shepard, blocked from behind by Powell, and he's loving it, flexing. Grant did not like it, has to be careful here. Cooler heads are going to prevail. There's a little bit of taunting from Powell. Shepard with a little bit of a light two-arm shove, but needs to be responsible here. You already have one post in foul trouble. We're going to hear what the officials have to say. Powell clearly thinks an unsportsmanlike's coming as he's just standing at the free throw line.
So that's going to be 2 shots in possession. Powell's like, well, if you're going to hit me with that, why don't you hit him up with the technical foul? But, you know, you're starting to see a little bit of that. Well, who initiated the first one? I feel like this is like an NFL game where let's see if I can catch it before the ref is looking at what we're doing here. And not surprising, we thought this game was going to be heated, and it certainly is continuing to heat up here. We didn't see a lot of this in the first half. Both teams are just trying to get at it, but of course with both coaches likely emphasizing let's play more defense, we're going to see more contact, and we're going to see more of this.
Powell at the free throw line calmly hits the first. And hey folks, tonight this Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire. And if you're tuning in, it's a great one as the top team in that Western Conference, presented by Cal Tire, the Bandits, down by 8. And you can make it 9. Excuse me, Mr. Powell, the rare miss. He's been perfect from the stripe, got me on that one. And it's going to be a Shooting Stars ball as well. Their largest lead of the game. Here's Powell once again on Shepard. Shepard needs to be careful not to overcommit. Left short. Bediako fighting for it. Bowled around. Bodies colliding. Spills out to Powell. Rolls out as well. Bodies hitting the deck. Last touch by Uwat. Vancouver has to be careful to not let the rebounds rack up in extra possessions for Scarborough. And Mulder, that was clear. You could see the elbow come up. Uwat tried to fight through once. He fought through again. Vancouver making it easy for the officials right now. And there's an unsportsmanlike charge against Mulder, mouthing off after the whistle. And you're going to see the captain, Dwayne Notice, check in here as this lead is at risk of going north. And credit to Scarborough. They're playing with gamesmanship. They're playing with grit. They're playing with offense. And right now in the second half, it looks like their defense has come to play as well.
Well, normally that little rub screen, just a little bit of a hip check. He tried to hold it for a split second too long. And again, this is where on-court leadership is going to play such a huge part for both teams. Powell coming in as a leader, and again, stepping up for his teammates when required, getting the job done on offense. The Bandits really need a defensive stop here.
Powell, that's his shot off the top of the backboard. And we're going to have a whistle. Charge against Creek on the hold onto the hoop. going to be Scarborough ball yet again. Vancouver has not made things easy on themselves in the third quarter. Extra rebounds, fouls, unsportsmanlike. It's all Shooting Stars right now.
Well, they're at 4 fouls already with 2 minutes into this quarter. So not only is Scarborough ahead, they're also going to be shooting free throws for the rest of this quarter.
Johnson, that was big. Right in the face of Miller Kopp. Scarborough up to double digits for the first time tonight. It's a power outage at LEC. House trying to do too much, wraps up Bediako. The clamps are on for Vancouver. Julius yelling at the bench. He wants a timeout. It's all Shooting Stars right now as they're up by 12, 75-63. We'll see if a Vancouver comeback's in store or we may have a rout on our hands. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
redtag.ca. At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back to Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center, where it has been all Shooting Stars to start the third. Coach Julius forced to call a timeout. Chris, you were over in that huddle. What do you got for us?
That's about as angry as I've seen Kyle Julius all season long. He swapped out Jarkel Joyner for Jalen House. Jalen kicks a chair. There's some arguing going back and forth. He goes, you guys are not putting in the effort that needs to get this game done. You guys are falling apart. It's the most angry I've seen Kyle Julius all season, and for good reason. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Chris. And this is going to be a crucial two-game home plus away trip. This Bandits team has yet to play the Winnipeg Sea Bears, and that's one of the most formidable away game crowds they're going to have to play later this week on the 18th as Bediako leaves it short. But tonight, you really want to start that road trip off on the right note. There would be no better way to do that than to come back here in the second half, but their defense just has not been there here in the third.
Well, the maturity to handle certain situations, and again,
Bediako 0 for 6 from the free throw line tonight.
a little bit of a saving grace here. Scarborough 10-2 scoring run to start this quarter.
Notice, hasn't hit a three this weekend, still has yet to do so. Stretching into Monday. Here's Johnson. Adept off the dribble. Trying to put Parolin on skates. Here are the moves on Parolin. Parolin, great defense all the way to the cup. That's just better offense and finish from Javen.
Great recognition. Dom can't pick up his fourth foul here with 3 minutes into the third quarter. So they know that he can only defend as far as he can go without having to pick up that extra foul.
Kopp with a little push shot. Spills out.
These are not necessarily the best scoring looks that the Bandits can create, but they're needing a spark right now from somebody.
On Powell, and he is just on an absolute tear. Things going from bad to worse here at the LEC. It's a 17-point romp for the Shooting Stars. As 1 3 after another, one look at the basket after another. And right after a Bandits timeout, they did not bring that dial-in mentality. And fans, if you're not here tonight, you can come next Saturday as Vancouver Bandits are going to be hosting another game this upcoming weekend. And Bandits fans are bringing the energy every night and you can be a part of it this season. Tickets are available by scanning the QR code or visiting thebandits.ca/tickets. If you don't have them already, they're hosting the second best team in the Eastern Conference, the Brampton Honey Badgers, coming to town for 6 p.m. tip-off on Saturday, June 20th.
Well, they're looking for the fans to flex, and I think at some point, the Bandits are going to have to figure out if they've got a defensive flex. Being able to outscore teams has been what they've relied on, scoring 104 points a game and leading the league. But right now, especially with the lineups that they have, missing a few key pieces, this is a character test for them. You want to be considered the best in the business, you have to be able to win games on both sides of the floor. So gut check here for this group, as Chris Wiggins almost takes me out on the scores table. But folks, I'm okay. Thanks for asking.
That's the type of physicality they got to bring, potentially on the defensive end, body on body. But they are in the bonus the rest of the way. Have to have a picture-perfect end to this third quarter. Still 6.5 left. Foul on the ground as Frank Mitchell checks in for his third quarter action. Creek was trying to free up. Vancouver only one basket so far here in the first quarter, the third, as Creek just tosses it up. Couldn't even get the words out my mouth. Right from the inbounds into a play, draws the contact. And Creek, the veteran, the leader, the reigning MVP, looking to right the ship for Vancouver.
There's a lot of game left right now. We've got 6 minutes in this quarter, fourth quarter, target score ending. You know, the wheels have fallen off a little bit here. Mitch Creek riding the way. And now it's just having to string several defensive stops in a row. So we'll see what type of scoring looks. Love that the Shooting Stars, even when they get a mismatch inside, they're not forcing it. They're just attacking individual matchups. And the Bandits are getting exposed for their inability to defend individually right now.
And Vancouver looking to speed up the pace and get better looks on offense, but their defense right there connecting at the right time. Notice rotating over to Mitchell, forcing the ball out of his hands. And an errant pass into a rare second half turnover for Scarborough. Post up to Creek, a southpaw. On Walker, throws it up, Creek just misses. He has that quick shoulder move, couldn't get it to fall. Notice right there, throwing it up to Creek. Kopp hasn't hit a three yet this quarter, they need this. Doesn't fall, Creek the board. Notice in rhythm, around the back to Parolin. Walked from behind with contact as Powell and Mitchell were both right there. The trailer was Parolin. Notice, around the back. Both bodies there, and for Dom Parolin, going to need to stay on the court. You're going to need to convert these free throws. First point of the night for Dom Parolin. Hard to believe a 15-point, 12-rebound performance. His defense has been there, but held to just 14 minutes tonight, filling in for Tyrese Samuel. 2 for 2 from the line. Big buckets from the Rook. 12-point lead for Scarborough. Kellen Tynes checking in. Here's Powell. Chased. Off his foot. 9 to work. Gets past Notice. Parolin's there. Extra pass. Miller Kopp tries to get over, but too strong, too powerful. Frank Mitchell.
They're getting deeper into their defensive rotations, getting deeper into the shot clock, just not finishing out this possession well. Great little read there on that switch, finding the open big, and again, the inability to have, oftentimes we've seen in these type of games where they would have gone to their 2 big lineup. You'd have had Parolin and Samuel on the floor at the same time, and it's not even just the matchups, it's the fact that the defensive rotation is a big. And here we have, whether it's Mulder or it's Joyner or Dwayne notice your defensive rotation to handle that big as a small guard, and they're really getting punished by that.
Notice not high enough for Parolin. And here's Powell pushing the tempo. Johnson lights out tonight. Rare miss. Kicked back out. Walker tapped around. Back into the hands of Tynes. Shot clock resets. 10 to work. Tynes inside to Mitchell. Poked around. Parolin was there. I believe that's going to be Dom's fourth. And for Dom, one away from having to come out of the game as Mutabazi is going to check in. Coach Julius reaching deep into his reserves. And hey, Scarborough fans, it's season 5 from the ends. Be a part of the action from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center by scanning the QR code or visiting shootingstars.ca/tickets. Vancouver a perfect 4-0 at home this season. Scarborough 3-0 at home, 4-1 on the road. That one loss, a 2-point loss to the Saskatoon Mamba as Mitchell splits a pair. Joyner want to work on Mitchell. Step back on skates. Jarkel, they need him. They got him.
Keeps exploring until the right shot reveals itself. Great patience on the offensive side of things. But again, this is where Scarborough can be dangerous with so many different tools inside, especially on some of these pick and rolls.
Made the decision, went under the screen. Thomas, rare miss. Here's Joyner with Creek. Joyner going right to the cup. Tons of contact. Thought Jarkel might be favoring that angle, but I think the shoe just came off. Looks like he's okay as he's going to go to the line for 2 shots. As Uwat checks back in. Tynes goes off. 3:52 left in the third, down 14. Lots of clock for Vancouver. Their offense slowed a little bit, sputtering, but it's coming back, but their defense really needs to dial in for the last 14 minutes of this ball game.
What's going to be interesting is looking at the length of this Scarborough lineup right now. You can harass the guards. You can pound inside. The Bandits have been able to find ways to maybe force some misses, which is a little bit different than getting defensive stops. But at the end of the day, your job is to prevent the other team from scoring.
Joyner over 2 from the free throw line, looking to make amends. Doesn't have a ton of clock here. Goes right to the cup. Joyner with a lefty finish. He says, I apologize, coach. I'm going to finish with my left. Stuck 12. Can the crowd get behind their hometown team? Perfect at home. The Bandits need them now. Mitchell checked by Kopp. And that's out of bounds against Mitchell. Is that the momentum swing that Vancouver's looking for? They need a run. Coach Vernon's going to call time. He can sense it. This is a great call from Coach Tyrell. Wants to talk it over as Vancouver starting to show signs of life.
Great defensive stand. One of the challenges with this matchup issue is how early the double has to come defensively. And so you see that back down move. Kopp handles the first turn, forces the offensive player back to the baseline side, takes the ball out of bounds, and that's the stop that they need to hopefully spin rounds. Now you're looking at this score going, hey, we don't have to find a way to tie this by the end of the quarter. We just have to put ourselves in a position where single-digit lead, heading into target time, knowing that we've got the shooters. Very curious to see who does and does not come back into this game. Dom Parolin, as we mentioned, with 4 fouls. House, perhaps. We've seen, well, we'll see if we see him again. Jarkel Joyner getting the job done, coming in, and obviously it's not a surprise of what he's able to do. We know he can throw it down. Did we not mention his 37-point game last game?
The statistic adjusted 37-point game, so hot they had to rescore the game, and they found out we had called him for a 36-point record-tying performance. but they said, no, you stand atop the record books with 37, surpassing that of Tyrese Samuel, Mitch Creek, and Zach Copeland. Tyrell here with 10 points.
Giving credit where credit is due. Thought he's been great, patiently waiting for his moments, early parts of the season, often playing the second or third scorer in this team. Stepped up big in the last game and is starting to step up big in this one.
Spider-Man, can he save the city once more? Creek pulls up from 3, nails it. Captain Creek getting creaky with it. Sims right to the hoop. You watch tripped. Was trying to go up. Notice reached in. We're going to call the hold. We'll look to see if we can get a replay on that one. But again, dribble penetration for Scarborough. Sims gets past Kopp. Joyner trying to bait the charge. Notice might have been across the arm as Uwat was going up, had deep post position. Hits the first. Back to a double-digit lead for Scarborough. Like you said, Trail, you're not going to overcome this deficit in the third, but can you get it close at the tail end of this quarter? Hits them both. Powell back in. And under the leadership of Coach Vernon this year, Scarborough had a sub-500 record last year. The ship is right. Looking right back in championship caliber form under the leadership of Coach Vernon, doing damage tonight. Creek pulls up once again. 2 for 2 from deep in as many plays. Mitch Creek says, Coach, why not?
Well, if there was any CBL rust in that first half, he has shaken it off. You know, you mentioned Coach Vernon and the things that he's doing with this program. Let's remember that only 1 or 2 games of CEBL experience on this roster before they got here in this season. So this is a lot of players that are starting to figure this out, the target score ending, how you really have to figure out how to turn it on at different parts of the game. And so now things equalize, both teams in bonus here for the last 2 minutes.
Tynes picks up his third, a scrappy defender. Joyner going back to the free throw line, 0 for 2 on the last trip. Hits the first. Signs of life from the crowd here at Envision Financial Court. This deficit slowly shrinking for Scarborough, and Coach Vernon calling the number of Javen Johnson. Leaving it short was Jarkel Joyner, 1 for 4 in his past 2 trips. As we await the call here, Wasim Husseini signals for 2 shots. Going to send Powell to the line.
He still calls the foul. It's just the flop part of it. And again, this was a few years ago where we felt that there was a flopping call every 5 seconds. You know, it was a point of emphasis, obviously, for the league. So we don't actually see it being called as often, but with the aggression of both teams in this game, I think that's a valid point. I don't know if David Murazi was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think it's just one of those savvy, kind of old man moves in some ways. I ran into you and then I fell down, but Powell knows how to get the job done, and shooting free throws is one of the easiest ways to maintain your lead.
You've played in the high caliber of leagues, including the NBA, the CBA, College Big East Player of the Year that he has. He knows every trick in the book, but he's got the talent to back it up. Hits them both. Sitting on 29 points tonight, Miles Powell. Sims on Joyner. Mano-a-mano. Joyner pulls up. Deep 3. Doesn't go. Rebound to Powell. He's been everywhere tonight. One-on-one against Mutabazi. Mutabazi has the hands there. Powell wants it. Falls out of bounds. Uat throws it up. Bouncing around into the hands of Joyner. Vancouver's off and running. Jarkel Joyner right to the basket. Met at the rim. Great transition defense from Scarborough. Sims. Batted around Creeks there. Crucial 60 seconds as Jalen House looks to check back in. Creek pulling up. Takes contact from Powell. Closed out on Creek, who's hit 2 threes already this quarter. Going to go to the line for 3 big free throws. First personal foul of the game against Powell. Hard to believe he's played so many minutes already, but a clean game, just his first foul committed.
Joyner doing a great job of helping the team get back into things here. House, you know, every once in a while we have these moments where you see a coach and a player, like a parent and a child. I think he got put into the timeout corner there for a second, but he's back in, he's dialed in.
Creek hits the second. Shooting percentages slowly dropping, still very efficient for both teams. Either of them shot 60% and above in the first half. That's fallen to 56 and 57% respectively. As Creek goes 2 for 3. Mitchell, John Knight III both check in for the respective squads. Creek taking a breather.
And there's some little plastic pieces on the floor. Players picking them up.
Mutabazi trying to stay with Powell. You don't want to say 60 seconds is the ball game, but this is certainly a crucial juncture. Tynes, past House, kicks it to Walker, getting to the cup. Met by Knight III, reaching in as Vancouver allowing dribble penetration, and they were chasing ball the entire possession.
You know, those are such tough situations because this is where the length of Scarborough really hurts you. John Knight, maybe if he's 2 or 3 inches taller, maybe that possession doesn't go against him. But the Shooting Stars have done such a great job of getting so deep that they essentially nullify the shorter player.
43 seconds, chance to go 2 for 1 into the hands of Jalen House. Checked by Powell. Back into House. Looking to check it on Tynes. Tough shot from Jalen House. Here's Walker off and running with speed. Makes the pass to Mitchell. Bowling his way to the rim. Last touch by Mitchell. And Vancouver can have a last chance at the basket. Down 9. Notice with the rock. Captain Duno. Ten seconds on the clock. And Kellen Tynes is going to pick up the foul. He has been a defensive pest all night. That's his 4th. Something to watch for one of the best perimeter defenders in the CEBL. A rookie Canadian coming out of Dartmouth. Stingy, but getting called for it as Jalen House was looking for the rock. And there's going to be just less than 6 seconds to work with for Scarborough. House misses the second. Spills out to Powell. 2, 1, Powell, that's too much space for Miles Powell, and he almost makes them pay, getting the length of the floor in a heartbeat. Vancouver down 8. We have a wild 4th quarter, Cheryl, right around the corner, and it's 90 to 82 for Scarborough Don't go anywhere. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team's score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
Welcome to closing time here at the LEC, and it's time now for the Cruise of the Game presented by Cal Tire, a strip and score from Jalen House, and they're going to need their leading score on the season in House to do a lot more of that as the Bandits are down by 8 to a formidable Scarborough Shooting Stars group who have come in and hit first and hit early and hit often, and they have built a lead that was as large as 17 points and is only down to 8. Tynes playing with 4 fouls. Mutabazi checking on Powell, going to pick up a quick one here, trying to play tight defense. House has to be careful, and there it is. Wasim Husseini had enough as House mouthing off in between plays. Coach Julius looks like he's going to bring in Joyner for House here, as Powell's going to go to the free throw line for 1. An animated group in Vancouver trying to hold on to their unbeaten streak at home, but cooler heads prevailing, and Scarborough has come in. They've played within themselves. They've taken it to Vancouver, and they have not lost their grip on the psychological game here tonight.
We talked about the youthfulness of this Bandits team. When things go well, they go really well.
Mutabazi right to the cup, right there, swatted aside by Walker. Hustling back. Cobb threw it up to Mutabazi, didn't quite have time to go up with it. Try to outweight the Scarborough defense. What a terrific swat from Walker.
Chase down block on that one. Just shows how connected this Stars team is, even in breakdown situations.
And Mutabazi going to get called for the hold on the inbound. Possession's going to flip. Vancouver had clicked away at this lead, but Scarborough back with the rock in their hands. Up 9. Parolin back in. Playing with 4 fouls is Frank Mitchell. Pretty move, puts him in the spin cycle. We have him on 6th Man of the Year watch, the Canadian doing work. Kopp looking to find Creek. Inside to Parolin. Two-handed flush for Dom Parolin. His first field goal of the night.
No hesitation on that catch. Gets the job done. But Scarborough has just shown so much composure, and one of the things with having been down in so many games is that they've got this. Powell knocks down that 3, maintains their double-digit lead. For the Bandits, they haven't spent a ton of time down by double digits going into the target score ending time, so this is new territory for them, and if you're a coach, you're trying to help the guys understand that right now we're losing the game ourselves. We're losing our cool. You know, technical foul, within the first 30 seconds possession, you're getting yourself in the exact same situation where even if they're not making their shots, they're going to the free throw line for a significant part of this quarter.
Creek pulls up. Parolin gonna reset. Miller Kopp, that's from Houston. Great play on the offensive glass from Creek. He was right there recognizing the deep closeout on Creek. Vancouver back within 8. Less than 8 to go here in the fourth quarter. Mitchell, spin move on Parolin, gets right to the cup, too strong. A rare miss from Frank Mitchell, point blank. Joyner going right to the hoop, backhand finish around Mitchell. The lead is down to 6 for Scarborough.
You know, Scarborough, up until the last 3 or 4 possessions, had been doing such a great job of not keeping the ball in one person's hands for too long. They've now kind of gone to a little bit of isolation basketball, and that's going in the Bandits' favor right now.
Tynes, 8 to work, gets it to Mitchell. They want this matchup right around Parolin, throws it up, but right there, batted around into the hands of Mitchell, push shot, doesn't get the roll. Defense stands tall for Vancouver. Stops and scores.
Home rims. Sometimes you don't want those soft rims for your opponent.
Big catch, Parolin, kicked out Joyner, they need this. Misses. Joyner, not his night from deep tonight. Up court to Kopp, right there. Miller Kopp finishes the layup. Miles Powell could not get back in time. Coach Vernon wants to talk it over. Hold on to your seats, folks. The roller coaster continues. Big timeout called. Vancouver within 4. It's 96-92, courtesy of Miller Kopp. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CBL basketball, and we have so much more, Cheryl. Defense leading to offense. What has Vancouver done right to start this fourth quarter?
We, just as we're chatting here, we have a technical foul, I believe, that's been called. Something happening on the benches. Woo! This feels like a playoff game, doesn't it?
I'm like wanting to hold on to your chair for dear life here. I'm like.
6. White 6. Anthony Walker picking up a technical foul there. Assistant coach getting some clarification on this, but this is why cool heads prevail. You're looking at being down by a large deficit. Right now, the officials have come to the Bandits bench to find the shooter. Miller Kopp gets tapped, and he's going to shoot this free throw.
And Chris hanging around both of these huddles. Coach Julius has called a bunch, as has Vernon. Vancouver now stuck 4. What do you got, Chris?
Man, that Scarborough bench might be imploding. Vancouver had their moment. Now it's Scarborough's time. Tyrell Vernon telling his guys to control the emotions. What are we talking to the referees for? Control the emotions. We're running around with our heads cut off. Just relax. And you saw a technical there as well, so maybe it's Scarborough's turn to get a little heated. This down the stretch is going to get spicy.
Coach Vernon leaning to his secondary unit here, a mix of starters and bench. Bediako, a starter, coming back in. You have Thomas and Sims as Kopp hits the free throw. Now a single possession game.
So we go back to where we were originally with the timeout call, Scarborough taking it out of bounds and going, you know, I didn't realize composure was a baton that only one team could have at a time, because, you know, we've seen the chippiness, we've seen, you know, I would say fouls that you just didn't need to get. So now we've got a few minutes here before we get into target score time, and both teams are really having to get the best possessions possible.
Kick out to Thomas. He's hit a few threes tonight. That one doesn't fall, and that's going to be an over the back. You could see the hold on the ground. The length of Uwat tonight has been difficult for the Bandits in spurts when he's played minutes, and a nice piece coming out of the CCAA. Vancouver 4 fouls in the quarter. Johnson, checked by Notice, calls for it. On Parolin, big rebound, fighting for it, off to the races. Dom Parolin going to the basket, too strong off glass, couldn't quite gather the dribble, caught it in a tough spot from Joyner. Might have been best to corral and curl that one back out.
Those are moments sometimes, I don't know if you're going to ask Joyner to play slower.
And a turnover from Scarborough. You talk about playing slower, tough to stay composed in this type of environment.
Well, great defensive play there, settles things down. You almost have to play this game like it's 0-0 and it's just like settled down. They're trying to go for some of these home run scoring looks.
Dom Parolin catches the Hail Mary from Notice. He's not going to miss with that pass twice. It's a 1-point ball game.
Veteran play. Dwayne Notice doesn't rush the pick and roll, just allows Dom to get where he needs to get to. Great team basketball.
Right to the cup. Look at the extension from Sims. Back to a 3-point lead. 1 minute away from target score time.
So hard to do with the length that Scarborough shows in these little moments. We'll see what this younger player here has to do with Mitch.
And one opportunity coming up for the Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Creek felt it immediately. The arm, he felt the hook right there, goes up. That's his dominant hand. If you didn't know the scouting report, goes lefty style off glass.
There's little moments in this game, CEBL, where you see pros who've been playing for a long time saying, are you sure that's the matchup that you want on me?
And the MVP chants already out for the reigning MVP. Welcome back to Vancouver, Mr. Creek. There's FIBA for you, live on the rim. Great play from a potential future Olympian, and Charles Bediako, part of that national team pool. Stuck one, Vancouver. Johnson working on Kopp. Kicks it. Kopp all over him. Johnson driving, pulling out a couple moves. That's a tough step back, Javen Johnson. Dom Parolin. As Uwat and Notice get tangled up, Uwat down hard. We're going to look to see if he's okay. Notice going to be assessed the foul. Trying to box out Uwat. Scarborough with a size advantage, a length advantage. Vancouver without the services of Tyrese Samuel. And for Vancouver, their next home game is going to be after a road trip. And for Scarborough, they have a home game coming up, as this Friday the Shooting Stars are hosting the Ottawa Blackjacks and Matthew Cleveland at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center for the first matchup between the teams this season. Tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Scarborough's next game at home. And the Bandits heading on the road when they will travel to the Manitoba capital of Winnipeg to take on Teddy Allen and the Winnipeg Sea Bears from the Canada Life Centre. Action begins Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central, 5 o'clock Pacific, as Uwat splits a pair. 2-point ball game. On the ground. 12 seconds away for the most exciting part of CEBL basketball, target score time. Joyner, checked by Uwat. You see that length is bothering him a little bit. Notice might have gotten away with one there. Driving on Powell, right to the hoop, throws it up. Dwayne Notice, the scoop, the score. It's a tie ball game. Vancouver on its feet. Stolen by Parallel second. Bediako's right there. Notice ripping for it. Last touched by Notice. Vancouver trying to get off into the races. Notice what a play to come in at the last second, taking away a sure finish at the rim from Bediako. It's a tie ball game. Target score is going to be 108. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Next bucket wins.
Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
Welcome back to Langley Event Center as Captain Notice chooses an opportune time to score his first field goal of the evening. The tying basket, we're knotted at 99. First to a 108 wins this ball game. Doesn't matter how you do it, you just got to get there. Right now it's Scarborough basketball. Last touch by Vancouver as Captain Notice checked in, tried to rip it away from Bediako. Miles Powell sitting on 33 points. 7 3-pointers. Franchise record is 9. Held by who? Himself, of course. So we're going to see what happens. He's got a win on his mind, but still lots of basketball left to go. Johnson pulls up, hits the 3, set play. 2-pointer, foot on the line. Vancouver dodges a bullet, but Coach Vernon draws up a perfect set play.
That shot had gone a little bit cold for him over the second half. Great time to get your shot back.
Joyner trying to dance on Mitchell. That's tough. That touched everything but the rafters here at LEC. My goodness, Jarkel.
Speaking of getting your shot back, finding the rhythm, figuring out these little things, every foul is going to be costly for both teams.
Batted around. Last touch by Scarborough. Sims going to the hoop. Mitchell vying for it. The length, really tough to keep this Scarborough team off the offensive glass.
Opportunity now not only for the Bandits to take the lead, but to take the lead in target time when all you have to do is score 9 points. So Scarborough does have one foul to give. It'll be interesting to see if they try to purposely take it at some point in time.
Creek trying to feel his way to that left. There it is. You can see him. Love to see that. That's just clinical. I want to see that on tape again. Mitch Creek, shoulder bump, getting to the left. Draws the foul from Uwat as we see the replay here. You know he's going to his left the entire time, and that arm ripping right across.
Oh, that's not going to be a shot block, young man. The one thing about him going to the free throw line in this situation, it just allows both teams to also just settle down a little bit, emotions high. I love the shot selection for both teams. Nothing home run out of the park, just go to what you do best. Johnson, corner, foot on the line. Joyner sees the matchup, exploits that for his step back. We've seen this. Now we'll see what Powell has in his pocket. Joyner Should be an interesting matchup here to see what type of scoring look Scarborough comes down. Now down by 2.
Vancouver, its first lead since the second quarter. Powell can't give him an inch. Rises up. Front rim, Sims the board. Looking to drive on Kopp. Kopp's right there. Sims turning around, throws up a wild look, and it goes. Amir Sims. How did he get that to fall? Tynes playing with 4. Creek looking for it. Great pass inside. Out to Creek. 3, too strong. Tapped around. Kopp keeps it alive to Parolin. Thrown away. And Jarkel Joyner tries to commit the foul to stop Amir Sims, and he's going to instead go to the free throw line for the and one opportunity. It's already one more basket, wins it from 3. Chance to make it a 2-point clincher if he can hit the free throw. Vancouver had the offensive board, but a few passes into the passing lanes, and Scarborough got out on the break. Timeout called here by Bandits head coach Kyle Julius. They say basketball is a game of runs. Vancouver has made it, but withstanding the counterpunch are the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Both coaches are going to have an interesting time processing this game afterwards. You know, if you're Vancouver, you're going to look up at this and say, potentially, if we end up losing this game, why did we let the wheels fall off? We gave up 42 points in the second quarter. You know, they're leading 21-13 well, actually, they're not, sorry. 21-16 in this quarter going into target score ending. If you're Scarborough, you're looking at this saying, what can we improve on? The isolation types of scoring looks where they started slowing down. If this hasn't been necessarily the most potent second half for them after a 42-point second quarter, but they stopped going away from some of the different types of scoring looks, try to go back to isolation basketball. And we've seen the last few possessions now where they've gone back to, this is the type of scoring looks that we need to create for each other.
Vancouver going to need back-to-back scores and going to have to be perfect with a bunch of stops. If you're Vancouver out of this timeout, how are you trying to subdivide this deficit and just get back in this ball game? You need to be perfect here.
Well, if you're Vancouver, you're looking at one stat line and the fact that they've climbed their way back in from turnovers. They've been able to score off of turnovers, but they're in the bonus, so any foul is going to result in free throws. This has to be perfect basketball right now. The best scoring looks and solid defense that does not result in free throws for either team.
Joyner trying to get to the basket, pulls up, hits the jumper. Vancouver within 3, Scarborough within 2. Coach Vernon going to call a timeout of his own. They've shot 40% from deep, 52% from the field. Everything's been falling for Scarborough. Vancouver not going to want to allow the ball in the hands of, you guessed it, Miles Powell.
Well, you know, if you're the Bandits, you have to understand that there's more than one way to score 3 points. Obviously, they want to figure out how, you know, they've been running the stagger screen for Powell to get on the other side. Jarkel Joyner's been going under and meeting him all the way through. So it's prevented him from getting that shot, but we'll see if they have to figure out who to switch. At the end of the day, what hurts you is an open 3, and what hurts you is a 3-point play. And if you can find a way to take away either one of those, even if you give up a 2-point shot, you actually have a chance to come back and win this game on the other side of things. So this is a gut check right now. This is going to be a defensive situation for the Bandits, obviously, trying to figure out, don't assume that Powell is going to take the last shot. Johnson just hit his corner shot, even if it wasn't a 3. So you're talking about a team that has a lot of weapons. A lot of people can finish this game for them. So it's a team. The defensive rotations have to be on par. Their rotations have to be perfect. And they can't give up one of these defensive rebound. I didn't think it was a box out type of fouls either. So the discipline of both teams is going to be on display here. We'll see who can find this one out.
I was going to say, I'm glad you raised it. Scarborough has been attacking the offensive glass. The length of Mitchell, the length of Johnson, Amir Sims, they're going to send everything at the rim the moment that shot's up. Vancouver has to be ready. LEC on its feet at Envision Financial Court. Powell looking to play hero. They clear out. 10 to work. Miles Powell throws it up. Doesn't fall. Mitchell gets the rebound, batted around. Sims right there. Can't get it to go. Amir Sims says goodnight, Vancouver. And the Scarborough Shooting Stars escape the LEC. And they did it with hustle. They did it with grit. And they closed this chapter of the road trip a perfect 3-0. The shot went up. They got the jump shot they wanted. But the offensive rebound and the hustle allowed them to secure this W, and Vancouver suffers its first loss at home at the hands of the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
This is a matchup that we are going to look forward to seeing again. The one thing the Bandits have done a great job of responding fairly quickly. So they lose to Edmonton, come back right away. They lost to Ottawa, came back right away. Multiple offensive rebounds, unfortunately.
Maryland unable to get a hand on it. Amir Sims coming in, double digits in scoring. But just look at the patience. Couple head fakes, able to get it to go. And a tough return to Vancouver for Mitch Creek, who really did everything he could, especially in the second half. He entered with 12 points, finishes with 29, left it all on the floor tonight for the Bandits.
Well, there's definitely going to be a character check, for both teams from one perspective. How did it benefit us to lose our cool when things were tough? We talked about having to manage the runs. If you look at the stat sheet, 15 points was the largest run that Bandits gave up to the Scarborough Shooting Stars. It's a team that knows how to finish games. They've been down multiple times. There's just so many little things where in some ways maybe you do want to have a game like this early because you have to say character lost this game. We didn't show enough character when we needed to. Coach Julius did break his board at one point in today's game. Quite upset with the defensive effort. Really found that they were able to manage some of those things, but it was too little too late. Nearly find a way to get through this one, but it's going to be an interesting kind of post-mortem. You're going to have to check yourself and see kind of, again, we talked about a different scoring lineup. Thank you. We talk about all these different things that they're going to have to figure out, and they don't have a lot of time to recover from this. Going to the team that actually matters when it comes to wanting to finish first in the West, and that's going into Winnipeg.
Winnipeg trailing behind the Bandits in the West, one of the toughest road environments in the entire CEBL. You're talking about Teddy Allen, Jeremiah Tillman Jr. They have a full cast out there. For Vancouver, Jalen House, largely a non-factor, picking up an unsportsmanlike sitting for the entirety of that fourth quarter. It happened in the third. I think Scarborough opened the third somewhere on a 15-2 run. And this is going to be interesting. We have a big road trip. Winnipeg's a hostile environment. You talk about maturity. Jalen House is going to have to find his way to stay on the court for a full 4 quarters.
Well, if you think about it too, you've just given Powell a 33-point game, and he really didn't have a great second half in terms of hitting some of the big shots that he was going for. Teddy Allen can do that and then some, especially in his home court. So, for the Bandits, you're looking at what Mitch Creek is going to bring, and I think with more time, he's going to help some of the younger guys figure out what composure looks like at the pro level and how one little run doesn't dictate the game. This is a long game, 40 minutes, essentially with target time. Sometimes it might go a little bit more, a little bit less, but the fact that it was 0-0 going into target score ending, it was going to be about who could multiply good decisions. That's obviously something that was a little bit of a challenge tonight for the Bandits. But again, Mitch Creek hits that open three, it's a different game. One more box out at the end, it's a different game. One less foul, it's a different game. This is oftentimes we talk about a game of inches, and unfortunately inches went towards the Shooting Stars.
And you put so much pressure, not just on your offense, but also your defense when you have to come back like that. And we're going to have plenty more, as well as our Booster Juice player of the game right around the corner, folks. Don't go anywhere. Plenty of post-game analysis right after the jump. You're watching CEBL Hoops live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
redtag.ca.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh, yeah. Like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool. At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Welcome back to Envision Financial Court at Langley Event Center. The Scarborough Shooting Stars improved to 8-1. The Vancouver Bandits drop to 7-3. Scarborough returns home. Vancouver heads out on the road to Winnipeg. Tonight, it was the Miles Powell show. You guessed it, a number of records to his name, but he filled up the cup tonight with 33 points. He is your Booster Juice player of the game. 9 of 18 from the field. 7 of 15 from the land beyond. One of the most dynamic scorers we've ever seen in the CEBL, Cheryl.
The ability to step back, find shots, hunt matchups, and at the end of the day, this is a film that the coaches are going to be able to look at and say, individually, you didn't get your job done. Yes, our defensive rotations broke down, but we had to get into defensive rotations because some of the matchups. So they were able to find some singular stops here and there, but you know, that one defensive push that they had heading into target time was exactly what they needed to do about 8 or 9 minutes earlier. So for Powell, just showing who he is, obviously by not even seeing him at the end of the game either. So, you know, looking at the ability to see multiple superstars handling some of the things that happen in this league game over, and it's just going to be such an exciting season. You know, we talked about the number of G Leaguers and big pro names and NBA experienced players and national team athletes, and what a privilege it is for us to be able to see the development of some of the younger players and how they're trying to match the skill of some of these other players.
So many players for Scarborough, not just the Bandits playing a factor tonight. You talk about CCAA, UWAT getting on the floor tonight. Kellen Tynes, a Nova Scotian, getting on the court tonight. Big minutes on the defensive end. And then Dominic Parolin for the BC side, finding a way to play in foul trouble the entirety of that fourth quarter. You tried to get some minutes from Grant Shepard. Didn't quite work out. Tyrese Samuel on an NBA workout. And they're going to have to learn from this. You said it's good to suffer these sorts of defeats earlier in the season. Now it's a 24-game season and you're 7-3, so not quite at that halfway mark. But these are good checkpoints as you kind of await for your roster to take shape. They're still waiting for a few players. Midge Creek's going to go back to Australia for some national team duties. Bandits, something to learn from tonight.
Well, you also have to look at some of the decisions that the coaches had to make. When in desperation, sometimes you find some lineups or matchups that you didn't intend to reveal. And so, you know, being able to go to that smaller lineup against one of the biggest teams in the CEBL, you know, they discovered that sometimes the gut check is who has more heart and who can get the job done defensively, not necessarily the size or the positional play.
In the CBL, there's a couple games tonight. As we look across the league and prepare for our next broadcast tonight, lots of teams taking action. Niagara picked up a win. Mamba picking up a win over Ottawa. But we got our eyes on the next CEBL broadcast. It's an East versus West doubleheader this Wednesday night. First, the Montreal Lions travel to Edmonton, looking to split the season series with Nick Hornsby and the Edmonton Stingers. Doug McLean, Kiara Lyons, and Sarah Ryan bring the action at 7 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then the Brampton Honey Badgers are on the road to take on Rugsy Miller-Moore and the Calgary Surge from the Winsport Event Center. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, and Cami Kepke have the call at 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern. You can catch all the action on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. And if you're coming to a future Bandits game, your next opportunity is this Saturday, June 20th, as the Vancouver Bandits welcome the Brampton Honey Badgers, 6 p.m. tip-off at the LEC. And that's going to be all she wrote tonight, folks. Vancouver suffering its third loss of the season. Its first on home court here at Envision Financial Court. 108-105. The Scarborough Shooting Stars improving to 8-1. And for the entire team up in the booth, Carson and Co. For Chris Wiggins on the sidelines, my partner in broadcast, Cheryl Jean-Paul, I'm Andrew Savory. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way, knock 'em out the way. With your head top down for some action.